Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are all having a blessed week. Mine's going really good. It's kind of peaceful and quiet around here, and I love that. So listen, I wanted to talk to you for just a minute about 3 warning signs that you could be headed in the wrong direction. And by the wrong direction, I mean you could be headed for hell. So we're going to listen to these 3, and I want you to think which one is the most dangerous. So the first one is you think that you're a good person. You think that you are basically good. You know, I did a wedding one time, and it was over on the coast. Beautiful place, beautiful hotel. And as I always do before a wedding, I get the bride and the groom together and everybody else in the wedding party, and I sit them all down and I present them the gospel. And as I was doing that, I mentioned the fact that everybody's rotten to the core. No one's good. And the bride said, "I don't believe that at all. I am a very good person." And I went, "Well, no, you're not. According to the Bible, you're not a very good person." And she said, "Yes, I am. I am a very good person, and I'll be going to heaven because I'm a good person." And that's what she based the fact that she was going to heaven on, that she was a good person. Now granted, the groom is sitting right there and he's getting ready to marry this girl, so I'm sure that she's not about to admit that she has any flaws. So I need to go back and talk to him again. He was a good friend of mine. His name was Mark, and I need to go back and say, "Hey, did she turn out to be as perfect as she thought she was?" So anyway, listen. This is what it says in Psalms 14. And you know, Psalms 14 and 53 are near identical. God repeated something to us that He wanted us to get. And this is what it says. "The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have all done abominable works. There is none that does good. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did good, any that understood, any that actually sought out God. They are all gone aside. They are altogether become filthy. There is none that does good. No, not one." And you know, David went on to say in the Psalms, he said, listen, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. So you know what? If you're relying on your good works to get you to heaven, you're in trouble. But that's one of the signs, is people think, I'm basically a good person, so I'm okay. Only murderers go to hell. Number 2, you're concerned with wealth and material possessions. Sounds like we got a train coming. That's one thing about filming at my house. You never know when a train's going to go by. So number 2 is you're concerned about wealth and material possessions. This is a fruit of that. You ignore the poor. If you ignore the poor, there's a good chance you're on the wrong path. And one of the signs of being concerned about wealth and material possessions is you completely ignore the poor and everyone else. You're only concerned about yourself. Number 3, there is absolutely no fruit in your life. None. Zero. Zip. Nada. No fruit. This is what it says in Luke 13, 6-9. "He spake also this parable. A certain man had a fig tree planted in his vineyard, and he came and sought fruit thereon, and found none. Then he said to the dresser of the vineyard, Behold, these 3 years I come seeking fruit on this tree, and I find none. Cut it down. Why should it cumber the ground any longer? And he answered and said unto him, Lord, let it alone this year also, and I shall dig about it and fertilize it, and if it bear fruit, well, and if not, then after that we shall cut it down. People, listen. There are so many times that your guardian angel had this exact conversation with God. God said, you know what, that human is never going to come around, cut it down. And the guardian angel says, what, Lord, wait. Lord, wait just one more year. I'm going to send people into his or her life, and they're going to respond. Lord, I'll put tracks in their hand. I'll make them accidentally tune into a Christian radio station. Lord, let me try real hard one more year. I'm sure a lot of guardian angels have pleaded that with God. He goes on to say in Matthew 21, 18 and 19, now in the morning as he returned to the city, he hungered. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon but leaves only. And he said unto it, let no fruit go on thee henceforth forevermore. And presently the fig tree withered away. People, listen. If there's absolutely no fruit in your life, there's a reason for that. If you are not drawing closer to God, then you're drifting away. There's no neutral ground. I've discovered that more times than I can count. If you're not drawing closer to God, you are drifting away. So those are the three. Number one, you think you're a good person. You're concerned about wealth and material possessions, and you completely ignore the poor. And number three, there's zero fruit in your life. So which one of these do you think is the most dangerous? Well, the answer is, number one, I think I'm a good person. You know, I've seen college campus Crusades for Christ interview many a college student, and the guy will walk up and put a mic in their face and ask them, do you think you're a good person? And every one of them, until they come up to a Christian, every one of them will say, yes, I'm a good person. Well, do you think you're going to go to heaven? Absolutely, I'm a good person. Only murderers, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer, Adolf Hitler, they're the people that go to hell, right? So number one is the absolute most dangerous. Now listen to this. Matthew 25, 11 to 12. And it's the story of the 10 virgins. You all know the story of the 10 virgins. They're sitting there waiting for the groom. They fell asleep. Then they woke up and someone said he's coming, and they went to trim their lamps. Well, 5 of them were ready. They had extra oil. Their lamps were all ready to go. The other 5 had no oil, and their lamps were going out. So they went to get oil, and then they came back. So the 5 virgins that were ready went into the wedding feast. Lord shut the door, locked it. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. He never knew them, ever. And they were cast out. People, listen. People thinking they're good, therefore they're going to go to heaven. You know, when you look at this parable of the 10 virgins, of all professing believers, only 50% actually were. And then when you look at the parable of the sower, only 25% of the people that actually hear the gospel actually respond to it. So anyway, I just want to give you something to think about. Because when you talk to people, when you try to witness to people, it generally doesn't take you very long to figure out which 3 of these categories they fall in. I've got a lot of relatives, I've got a lot of friends, and all of them fall into one of these 3 categories. They either think they're good, they're into material possessions and they neglect the poor, or there's zero fruit in their life. Anyway, think about that. Heaven or hell, you choose. Just remember, once you take your last breath, it's a done deal.